everyone, how y'all doing today? It's Jen from Exploring with Anxiety. And you guys, I'm moving in like literally 9 days. Everything's a mess. I'm in a different spot. My video is horrible. Audio is probably horrible because everything is literally packed up. Anyway, I wanted to do a quick video because I don't know how many people ask this question, and I don't know how many of my friends get this question asked to them as well. But I wanted to do a video on why I personally am choosing not to have kids on purpose. Yes, that's right, on purpose, because I just can't, especially not now. So these are my top reasons that I'm not having kids. And if any other girls out there can relate to these, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think, because these are just some of my reasons. And I know there's a lot of reasons for a lot of people not having kids, but these are like my top 7 or something. Anyway, so I just want to get into it. I'm going to go from my least important to the most important. And honestly, these are all important. So reason number 1 why I'm not having kids is that I'm not completely oblivious to the world and everything that's going on in it. Now, in order to have kids, I swear people have to either be like wearing blinders and not recognizing what's going on in the world, or they just have to be completely oblivious and not care. Like, I refuse to bring a child into the world as it stands right now. I feel like personally that's borderline child abuse, and I'm not going to do that to somebody else who didn't ask to be here. Having kids in and of itself is innately selfish. We don't have kids for the kid. We have kids for ourselves. We have kids because we want them, selfish. We have kids to feel loved and validated by somebody else, a little being, selfish. We have kids because we think that we're supposed to when we're with someone we love, and that's selfish. Having kids in itself is selfish. Even if you don't do it purposefully for selfish reasons, it is completely 100% selfish to have children in the world today. That's my opinion. I do not want to bring a kid into this world. I don't want to make them suffer. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want them to deal with that. So that's my number 1 reason. My next reason for not having kids is my money is my money. Okay. When you have kids, listen, your money goes to them. Like half your income probably goes to them. They're so expensive, dude. And it's like people who have pets are expensive. You take them to the vet, they're expensive too. Imagine having a kid. Okay. You gotta get them toys, clothes, food, everything, like bedding. Like you have to spend so much money on kids. And personally, I know my income, and my income is enough for me. Okay. Like I have extra money from each paycheck, whatever, but that's my money and I invest it in stuff. I am not going to have a joint bank account because I have a kid. I'm not going to do that. Call me selfish if you want. I think it's selfish to have kids, but my money is my money and it's going to stay my money. And I don't want to have to spend money on something that I, purposefully chose to have. And now I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. If I was a millionaire, yeah, I'd like adopt a kid or something, or I mean, there's so many kids in the world who need to be adopted. And like, there's so many people who like, try to have their own kid, blah, blah, blah. Like if they can't, they get IVF. That's all good. Like, I mean, I'm not shaming you. If you want a kid of your own, have a kid of your own. But there are so many children who need homes, who are abandoned, who are orphans, who need adoption. And I don't see all these pro-life people saying, let me adopt one. No. There's a lot of kids need adoption. So maybe one day if I have like a ton of money, I'll adopt a kid. But right now, my money's my money and it's going to stay that way. My next reason for not having kids is I'm retiring early and I do not want that trajectory to be thrown off. When you have a kid, your future plans are most of the time thrown off course, okay? Because it's another human being that you have to take care of. Like, no, I'm going to retire early. I have my plans set, and a kid would ruin that for me, like literally ruin it for me. Like I am so on track for retiring early. And yeah, if I had a kid, it would just be like, okay, this isn't happening anymore, because going back to my money and my finances, I know what I need to do to retire early. And I know that if I have to take care of another person, then it's not happening. So yeah, I'm not doing it because I am getting out of the work world early and I'm doing what I want to do with my life. And that goes into the next one. Okay. And that goes into the next one. I want to take vacations and go places without having to answer to anybody, without having to find someone to take care of somebody, without having to spend an extra grand on a plane seat and like, you know, another person in the hotel. I want to be able to go and explore without worrying about someone else or something else. Like I want to continue taking trips without having to worry about who's watching the kid, about how much it's going to cost me to take the kid with me. I already have a pet, okay, who I take with me, and they cost enough. I can't imagine like what another human being would cost. Like if you just wanted to go places all the time and take trips. And plus I work remote. Okay. So I can just up and leave and go wherever I want, whenever I want. You have no idea how good that freedom feels, dude. I have a friend who has a kid and she's always telling me like, I am so jealous of you. I can't even do that. And I wish I could. I want to go where I want to go without having to answer to anybody or take care of anybody else. So that's the next reason I want to go on vacations without having to worry about anything. The next reason that I don't want a kid is, I mean, it's like, you know, obvious, kids annoy me. They annoy me. They're annoying. Like I don't have a lot of patience for bullshit. I don't have a lot of patience for just a lot of stuff. And the sound of like a screaming child just literally like I know some people out there feel this way. Like the sound of a screaming child literally like pushes a button in me and I'm literally I can't deal with it. Like I don't know. I see these parents all the time just sitting calmly by their kid who's screaming and like rah! Like oh my god, like bursting your eardrums. Like what do you do? Like they're just sitting there like nothing's wrong. I'm like, dude, I would literally like just put duct tape on their mouth or something. I wouldn't, but that's what I want to do because it annoys me, dude. It's annoying. And I worked with kids when I was in college, you know, like at daycares and stuff for extra money. I'm fine if they're not mine. If they're mine, I can't take that. I can't take days and days of whining, crying, moaning, like, and then when they get older, they just fight with you and they freaking don't appreciate you. I'm not playing that game. Like, nah, kids annoy me. And I'm not having one because at least I know there's a lot of parents out there who have kids who aren't good parents and they should not have kids. Like at least I know that I would not be a good parent and I am saving some kid from that misery because I choose not to have them. I don't want to bring a kid into my life knowing that I would not be able to mentally handle it and I would not be able to tolerate them. So that's my next reason for not having kids. And honestly, people who can recognize that about themselves versus just having kids anyway, good on you, because I think that's like a big like self-realization step. And a lot of people are having kids who really shouldn't have them. And then these kids grow up to be real messed up. Just spare them. Don't have any. Next reason for not having kids, and this is one that's particular to me, but I know also, you know, a lot of other people might be able to relate. I have anxiety disorders. Obviously, this is my channel about my anxiety disorders, and I don't want to pass those on to somebody else. And even if I don't pass them on, because sometimes it is hereditary, I don't want someone to grow up in an environment where I'm always having anxiety attacks and them seeing that. I don't want someone to grow up in an environment where they're always seeing me freak out about stuff and, you know, cry like randomly. I don't want to do that to another human being. Like, I grew up in an unpredictable environment. That's why I have anxiety disorders. You know, I wish that like the environment was different or that sometimes like I wasn't born into that situation. I'm not having a kid because I don't want to subject them to that. I don't want to have another human being have the issues that I have because they're not fun. They're not fun. They're horrible. It's a real challenge like every day when the anxiety flares up and, you know, you're spiraling. And I just do not want to subject another human being to any of that. I don't, because having anxiety disorders isn't a joke. Like it's for real. Like it affects you and it also affects the people around you if you're having problems with it. So I just can't have a child living in the environment that I would be providing them. at the present moment. I mean, maybe when I get older, it'll be better. Who knows? But I'm not going to subject another human being to that. And there's a lot of people out there who should not have kids because they know their situation is not good and they have kids anyway. Like, what is wrong with you? No, like, don't have kids if you're not stable physically, mentally, financially. Don't have them, because guess what? It won't make the situation better. It'll just make it worse. And it'll make your, like, you know, mental illness worse if you have one. It'll make your financial situation worse if you're already in a bad financial situation. Don't do it, dude. Like, I just don't understand, unless, like, you know, it's an accident, because I know accidents happen. Like, don't plan on having a kid intentionally if you don't have your shit together, period. Anyone. Like, there would be so many more stable people in the world if parents recognize when they should not have kids and when they should have kids. That's all I'm saying, dude. I mean, that's facts. My last reason for not having kids, I don't freaking want to. There doesn't even have to be all these reasons. Stop asking married people when they're going to have kids. Maybe they don't want to. Stop asking women when they're going to have kids. They don't want to, maybe. They don't want to. I don't want to. That's the top reason. I don't want to. Like, my life is my life and I'm happy with my life and I'm happy with how it is. I don't want to have kids. And if you have a partner, you know, who like wants to have kids and you don't, talk through it with them. But I mean, ideally you'd find a partner that also doesn't want to have kids. I mean, it's a lot easier, trust me, but I don't want to. I like my life. I like being able to go where I want to go when I want to go there. I like being able to spend my money on stuff I want to spend it on and not someone else. I don't want to waste that. There's enough that I spend money on when emergencies happen. There's enough. I spend money on my car when I just ran over nails the other day and I had to get 2 new tires, $400. That's enough. I don't want to spend any extra money on a kid when I have emergencies that come up too and I have to deal with them on top of everything else. I want to invest my money to retire early. I don't want to have to worry about providing a life for another living being. Like, I don't want to have kids. And a lot of people who don't have them, they don't want to have them either. So stop asking people why they're not having kids. They don't want them. I would love if, you know, someone watching this could comment and say, hey, yeah, like, that's the reason I have too. I don't want to have kids. Or, you know, I'd love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.